Alright, what is up guys? So today we are gonna talk about, this is like a subject that I've been trying to get to. We're gonna talk about forgiving people and learning to love everybody. If you guys know me in person, you know that, at the end of high school, I was very well known because I also did video announcements, so everybody kind of knew who I was and I was very social. But before that, during grade 9 and 10, those were really rough times for me. I was trying to figure out myself and trying to figure out this whole life thing. And I also went through a lot of bullying in those 2 years. Before I was starting to establish who I was at the end of high school, I was really picked on a lot and people really looked down at me. Now today, those people that picked on me, we either kind of just talk and say hi to each other, we're friends, or we just say hi to each other and then move on. Like, we just respect each other. Getting to that point where I loved them and finding confidence and not caring what anybody thought of me while still loving everybody was a journey, especially when learning to forgive people, because the mistake people make is when they go through really hard times, those people that did bad to them, they still hold that grudge and they still hate them. And people are like, okay, but I want to forgive them and let them go, but I don't know how. Like, when I see them, it just comes up again. And I'm like, true, like I had that as well. These people did so bad to me, but to this day, I forgive them and I love them. But the thing is, I forgive, but I don't forget. I'm gonna talk about forgiving people, some situations I went through, and how I learned to forgive them, and what the situation looks like now. Like, when I see them now, what does it look like? So in this first situation, I had no justice in school. So I got bullied a lot in grade 9, and there was a lot of racism. I was the only black kid in the whole entire school. So I got a lot of looks. I was looked down at a lot. People shouted the N-word at me in the hallway. This is how it goes. So this guy's standing there like this, and he goes, and I was looking at him, I was like, and he sat there like he was hyped. He was like, yeah. Right, and I was scared. There's this one kid, we used to be best friends. We were best friends in elementary school, and then when we got to high school, he turned racist. It was so weird. He turned racist all of a sudden. But then the one time, this is when Skype was a thing. So he changed his profile. I remember I was scrolling on Skype one time and I go to the bottom, there was a name that said your local N-word, and it had my picture on it. So it had my profile picture and it said your local N-word. And why in the moment was I thinking, Skype's tripping, like, is Skype playing a joke? Like, what is this, right? So I click it, and of course it was someone's profile. It had their full name as their Gmail. And I was like, what? You couldn't be any more sneaky. The next day I went to school and I showed a picture to my friends and I said, bro, do you see what this guy did? And they were all laughing, and I was like, why are you laughing? And they're like, cause it's funny, he's had that for so long. I was like, and you never thought to tell me? I was so vexed, and that time I only sat with them, so I had nobody to sit with. So I just walked around the halls, and that's when I started finding new friends and stuff like that. There was a lot of situations that forced me to find new friends, like that one. I showed the school, and he got suspended for a few days, or however long it was. And I saw him in the hallway. Nobody really protected me. That was the sad part, was that I felt very vulnerable, right? So I was very, like, anybody could attack me and nobody would do anything. I looked at him in the hallway and I went, and I walked off. But in my heart dropped. I was like, I don't know what to do. But I looked at him, I gave him the look, and I walked off. And then when I went across the hallway, I was like, oh my God. And everybody was talking about it. Yeah, did you see what this guy did to that black kid? And they were like, yeah. Of course, everybody was still his friend, and they all thought he was funny and cool. And then this is the scary part, is that a few months later, I was walking down the hall and I look at my chest and I felt something wet. And there was a glob of saliva on my chest. And it was so nasty. I went in the bathroom and I went to go dry it off. It was so gross. The scary part was, I was like, so who spit on me? Right, I went to the office, we went through it, my family came, we addressed it, and a few weeks later, they were like, yo, we found the guy who did it. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is, okay, great, right? We go to the school, and then they say, oh no, we didn't find the guy. And we were like, what? You just called us and said you found the guy. And they were like, oh no, we thought we did, but we didn't. What they're saying happened was, yeah, they found the kid, but the kid's parents must have been some sort of powerful figures like police officers or something like that, and found a way to slide him out. Right? And that's the thing, is my school was kind of corrupt like that. Like that would happen. Even with all the other racism I went through at school, I did a presentation to a student council group. They were in charge of everything diversity and culture and stuff like that. Remember, my school was half native, half white. So there was always that race war. This happened, I did a whole presentation on all the stuff I went through at school. I had kids crying in that auditorium. There was kids crying in there saying, oh my gosh, I didn't know you went through so much. But they did nothing. That kid that was racist to me, he's still around. He's still around doing whatever. He's probably still racist. But I forgave him, because the sad part is that he looked at other races and said ew, and said, you know, they're beneath me. And that's sad. Like, that's sad. You have to be sad for them, because their consciousness is so low that they have to act like that. And it's not even their fault. It's society and the way that media portrays people of color, stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I feel bad for him. Poor guy. We were all trying to figure out what we were doing in high school. I had a bunch of friend groups that I joined, and then the people would bully me, and then it gets to the point where nobody would defend me and I would have to stand up. When I think about it, all high school, the universe was like giving me ways to step up my game. So I'm here, people were bullying me. It had to get to the point where nobody was defending me. I had to defend myself and say, okay, I actually have to do something. I'm tired, I'm scared, but I don't know what to do. So I would have to big up myself to fight, and every time I would level up a little bit more and become stronger. Even at the end of high school, I found a best friend, someone that I really loved. They end up leaving a hole in my heart because they just dropped me for no reason. Still to this day, I don't know why they dropped me, and I'll try and figure out, but they just ditched me. So they were my best friend, and it broke my heart. Most of them follow me on social media now, and if I see them in person, they see what I'm doing on social media. So sometimes I'll go and we'll be at the fair, and I'll see them in the corner staring at me and like talking about me. They're like, yo, that's Vinny. And I'll see them like looking at me and like talking about me, like talking, and they're all looking at me, and I'm like hi, right? Like, what's up? So it got to the point where I just go over there and be like, what's up guys, how are you? And I'm very loving. I'll give them a hug and I say, you guys doing good? Like, I hope life is great for you. And the thing is, we're at a point now where they respect me because I know my worth. When I started at the end of high school seeing myself as a king and seeing how worthy I am of love and happiness and just gain confidence, then these people started respecting me. And now at the stance I'm in, the people that even used to really bully me, now we're talking, and some of them, I shoot so much love to them that they shoot love back, and then they could say, you know what, Vinny, and we could talk about the past, or we could talk about what they go through at home. I had to take the first step to change the relationship but they would have to reach out to me first, but we would get to that relationship just because I would shoot love to them, and I would tell them and show them how much I love them unconditionally, no matter what. And from then they would love me. To this day, you know, that my best friend that dropped me, all those boys that were mean to me, all the girls that would pick on me, all those people, you know, I love them no matter what, because they're humans just like me. And in high school, we were all trying to figure out each other and figure what we're doing. The way they acted was just a reflection of them. Everybody was trying to be popular, so they were all stepping on each other to get up. I just ended up being a hard victim, plus I was black, plus I was conscious, plus I had no confidence. I started to accept myself and realize that, bro, I am a part of the universe. That means I deserve as much love as they get. We're literally the same people, but we act different. So if I started acting, seeing myself as a powerful figure, understanding my own power, and then shooting love to everybody else and accepting everybody else, it would just be a loving space. Because I don't need that drama. I'd rather just everybody love each other. Even when I talk to those people that made fun of me, there's that energy of they understand that I will forgive, but I don't forget. So there's a level of respect there where they will not do what they did to me again. Even if they did, they would get checked quick, right? And then from then they'd be like, oh shoot, this is not the same guy I'm talking to. So there was always a level of respect no matter what, and that's what everybody should have. You should forgive, but never forget. You just like, oh yeah, they did that to me, but I forgive them. We were all in crazy situations then, and I know who I am now, so what they say will never affect me again. So a lot of those people that disrespected me, even then they see how I've risen up, and they don't want to talk to me no more. They want nothing to do with me. There's a few people that bully me and they're like that. Like they want nothing to do with me, but they see me and it kind of bothers their ego, so they just go away. But no matter what, I still love them, and I think that makes them mad. That makes them even more mad that I still love them. I'll still love them and give them a hug no matter what. I knew with those racist kids, when they figured out later that how they were acting was really horrible and they become more conscious, they were gonna knock themselves later, right? This one girl bullied me so bad to the point where I cussed her out and made all the friend group leave her, not talk to her, and then she cried to the principal's office and told the principal that I bullied her. I was like, and then I got called to the principal's office and I told him what happened, and he instantly knew that I was telling the truth, and he's like, oh, I see, Vinny, you know, you could just go now. You could just go back to class. Since that day, she sat alone for the rest of high school. She sat alone the rest of high school. I remember when we were graduating, I wanted to talk to her and I wanted to be like, you know, I love you and I know that the past is the past, whatever, but I never got a time to. But if I did see her now, we would definitely talk. One thing I had to realize was that these people are just like me. They are the exact same souls experiencing a different perspective of life. And of course, if people are acting negatively, they have negative energy within themselves that they're dealing with. And when they go home, they probably have a rough life. So I need to love them knowing that they're struggling, trying to figure out themselves. Next one, I had to ask myself if I wanted to carry this negativity with me every day and possibly for the rest of my life. You guys watch them bullying movies when people get bullied and years later, they're still like meek and right? Or they're like still in trauma from that bullying experience. And I had to ask myself, I'm like, do I want to carry that around with me the rest of my life? That I could just let it all go and move on with my life. Like, why am I sitting here and letting this fester? And yeah, and then the next point was that I had to treat myself like a king. When I started treating myself like a king and realizing my heritage and realizing who I really am, then I was like, whoa, why am I letting people disrespect me? Like, as soon as you see yourself up here and you're getting treated like you're down here, you're like, nope, and you naturally you won't allow that. So you have to start with working on how you see yourself. They're gonna test your confidence, and as soon as you know, they realize that, whoa, this guy's really on, you know, he's a very powerful person. They're not gonna treat you like you're down here. They're gonna treat you like you're up here, and they're gonna wanna make you feel like you're down here to bring you down, but it's not gonna work. Bullies work to make you see yourself in a low way. If they can't make you see yourself in a lower form, then they lose, because their whole goal is to make you look down at yourself. And that's sad, because at the end, when you twist it around and you look at them, you notice that they have an ego problem. They need to put down others in order to feel on top, when you can just feel on top just being a loving and happy person, and you don't have to put others down because you notice that they're just like you, living in a life where they just want to be happy. So when you twist it around and you see that, yo, these people are really just trying, they have an ego problem. They have an ego problem and they're suffering inside because they want to feel valuable, so they need to put others down to feel valuable. It makes you look at them with remorse, and it makes you love them because you know that in their heart they're struggling. So that's a really good point, and that's something I want people to know. Bullies will do anything they can to put you down. And I noticed that as soon as I started seeing myself as a king and worthy of love and valuable, then others started seeing me as such, because I would not let them treat me in anything lower than that. Naturally. I want to end this video by saying, anytime I talk to these people that that were in any of these situations, they understand and they feel the energy. Like, I'm not gonna fight to have them see me as worthy. I see myself as worthy. I don't need you to see me as worthy. As soon as that happens, there's that energy set as soon as we start talking that I forgive you, but I don't forget what you did. I'm gonna always look at you and be like, oh yeah, I remember, he used to do this, but I'm found myself now, whatever. They know that I will not allow the behavior that they were emphasizing before. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was all about learning to forgive people, and I do have so much stories. If you want to know and hear what I went through in grade 9, there's a video. I'll probably put it here. You can check it out. You can also see the update I posted. It looks like this. You'll see the update there as well. It's crazy to see my evolution because in that update video, I was like, okay, I've risen above what happened before, but now I'm looking at that update video and I'm like, I've risen above that update. I noticed that everything I went through was preparing me for this exact moment, and it made me so grateful. I don't wish that anything I went through didn't happen. I'm glad I went through all of that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see you guys later. All right, peace out.